and welcome to episode 187 of the Down South Photo Show with me, Brendan Waits, here in Ocean Grove, Victoria, Australia, and the guy on that screen over there, or in your other ear if you're listening to the podcast. It's Cameron Blake in Hobart, Tasmania, Australia. Hello, Cameron.
Hello, Brendan Waits. Cameron Blake was very official.
You like that?
Look at you putting your specs on, hey?
Well, I just thought, I'd go in solidarity with you. And I mean, mine are shocking because they're cheap ass ones that fall apart, but yours look very, very suave.
Well, I don't know. I'm still getting used to them. Geez, don't do that in a hurry. Jesus, that makes your eyes go a bit funny. Yes, so I've reached the ripe old age of glasses. Just for close stuff and computer work and stuff like that. So, yeah, I just I have one of those moments where you grab a packet and you look at the packet and you're like, oh,
hang on a minute.
I'm like, hang on a minute. Why is my autofocus turned off? And then I realized, I'm like, but I went and got it checked. How good is the technology behind eye test? Have you?
It's amazing.
Done one?
It is remarkable.
And they do the picture of the back of your eye, and it looks like the bloody looks like deep space or something.
Yeah, it is quite fascinating, really. That whole science of what are they called? Optometrists.
Optometry. The only downside was I had to put my head on a Nikon camera and put my eye in there, and they puff the bits of air into your eye. Stick that up. You can stick that where the sun don't shine. I did not.
It's like a reverse sensor clean. They're actually making it worse.
Yes, that's right. And the lady
what we need to do is just do a sensor clean, and then we'll be fine.
Well, it's just like we're calibrating, isn't it? We're just putting like close-up filters on, really. So,
hey, thanks for joining us, everyone, and welcome back to the show. As most people know, we are spacing out our podcast this year. That is intentional, by the way. We've decided to just sort of have a bit of a breather in between podcasts, give ourselves a bit more time to create some content and also operate our businesses and run our lives, of course. So this week's show, we're going to be talking a little bit about my workshop that I just ran recently here on the Bellarine. Yes. We're going to talk about our upcoming East Coast Tasmania workshop, which is going to be awesome. Cam's going to have a bit of a chat about running workshops in today's economic climate, which is a hot topic right now.
Isn't it?
And is the Tasmanian Photography Festival coming back? Did it ever happen? How can it come back if it never happened?
Well, it technically was there. It physically didn't happen.
Right.
But it did 95% of what a festival did.
It did.
It was just didn't do the festival bit.
That's right. That might have been thanks to a global pandemic, so you could probably be forgiven for that. So
yes. So
and stick around to the end because we have a new photography comp as well. So
we do. That's exciting.
Yeah, isn't it?
It's almost like we're getting back in the groove of things, isn't it?
We actually have a rundown. What the hell?
Maybe that's what we went wrong all these days. Is that we just flew by the seat of our pants and
as always on this channel, what we like to do is show a photo of the week, which is, I guess, becoming a photo of the month now. But anyway, that's fine. And Cam, I'm going to put yours up first because I think it's rather lovely.
It is rather lovely. I actually enjoyed taking this shot. Some photos you look at and you go, oh, that was okay. But this one was just a really nice sunset. So this is recently on my Bruny Island workshop that we did. We had 5 wonderful people on that trip. Got some really nice weather, got some really nice conditions, and we went down to the Bruny Island Lighthouse, which you'd know well. And as we were sitting there waiting to take shots of the lighthouse and all the other things that are going on, off to the distance back on the mainland, there was the Hearts Peaks Mountains and the Southwest Mountains down there, which had a little bit of cloud rolling through them and had this beautiful sunset happening over the top. So I pointed my long lens down there and got a snap, and I was pretty happy with it. It was just a really nice evening, actually. That was the same evening as the blood moon that we had, the lunar eclipse. Yeah. So
it feels like there's a blood moon every other day now.
Not now, and not until January 2029 now or something, isn't it?
Oh, okay, right. Well, thank goodness that's over.
Yeah. Until it's that one.
What about the supermoon? Everyone thought the moon would be the size of Jupiter in our sky, but no.
And there was blood moons, and then there was like other moons, wasn't there? Like a blue moon and
harvest moon,
and yeah, we get a bit excited with those things. We did get some nice shots of the blood moon. Mm-hmm. I think it was cloudy up in Victoria. I think I might have spoke to you at the same time, and I think you said it was cloudy or something.
Yeah, we got clouded out for the blood moon this time around. I think there was a little patch where it happened okay at like 2:00 in the morning or something. So
Yeah, when no one's up. That's just stupid o'clock. I've just posted up there also a picture of the blood moon if you want to show what we had there. So once the sun went down, we faced the other way and we got the blood moon. So we had a group of us in the dark. Well, we weren't totally alone. We had a little pack of paddy melons and wallabies all hanging around us, wandering literally through all our gear and stuff, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
But yeah, we got it. We waited till about 10:30 that night, I think it was, where it was in full sort of eclipse, but it was pretty cool. It was an interesting sort of night. Waiting for it was a bit boring, but once it happened, it was like, oh, that's pretty cool, and take a few shots and away we went. So yeah.
Because I know a couple of people will be screaming at their screens right now. Would you like to let us in on the settings that we used for that image?
Yeah, sure. Just
if you can, if you can look them up in that.
So it was on the Leica SL3 with a 200mm lens on. I think I had it on around about f5.6, f8. I spot metered off the moon, which is the way we sort of do it. And I think when the moon actually went blood, it was still about a couple of second exposure. Before that, it was actually quite fast shutter speed because it was reflecting the sunlight. But when it did go dark and red, and then I did play around with the exposure a little bit to try and bring the red out a bit more. So I don't know the exact settings, but it would have been ISO, I think it was ISO 800, around about 5.6. And I think at the time it was about a second or two to get that moon.
Yeah.
I think at one stage we might have bumped up our ISO a little because it was a little bit windy and we could just see a little bit of movement with those long lenses in the moon. So, but yeah, it was good. We had, like I said, we had a good group there. We even had some chocolate cake. We had a David Richardson, who's a beautiful old man, David, who comes on a lot of our workshops. He was there for like his 40th workshop. So we celebrated that and got a little cake for him. It was nice. So it was a good evening. We had fun.
He's a very good man, David, a very good man indeed.
Yes.
Cool. That's awesome. What a bonus to get that on one of your workshops.
Well, yeah, it's funny you say that because we're going on a Southwest workshop tomorrow, and there's just been a big Aurora alert put out as well. So we might get lucky down there as well. Fingers crossed. But yeah, it was good. Where's your photo of the week from?
Well, just to tidy up that bit of homework there.
Homework.
This will probably go live on Friday night, the 20th of March. So be tomorrow night as we're recording now. So hopefully that Aurora forecast has happened, and we'll see.
Yeah. Well, it's out now. Like there's people making forecasts now. So if you're watching this and it's dark and you're in a place where you can see south, pause this. Go outside, have a look, take your phone out, hold your phone up to the sky looking south, press a photo. It'll take about 3 seconds, keep it nice and still. Have a look at the screen. If you can see a glow or beams or anything like that, that's the Aurora. If you can't, come back inside, press play and watch the rest of this.
Beautifully done, Cameron. Beautifully done.
Live editing.
This is my photo of the week. This is from St. Leonards. Now, I've got to admit, this is an area of the Bellarine Peninsula that I have not frequented nearly enough. Guilty, Your Honour. Mainly because I'm quite lucky here on this. I'm on the south side of the Bellarine Peninsula. For those of you who don't know where that's located, basically if you go out of Melbourne, head for Geelong, and then basically keep on going through Geelong and head back sort of east again, you get to the Bellarine Peninsula. That's where I am.
Yep. And when you've gone too far.
True. And towards the southern side of the Bellarine Peninsula, where Ocean Grove, Barwon Heads, Point Lonsdale is, we face we face Bass Strait, and we get lots of surf, big waves, all that sort of stuff. Really dramatic coastline. But the Bellarine Peninsula sort of hooks its way around to the northern side as well, and that faces Corio Bay, or Port Phillip Bay and Corio Bay into Geelong, and it's very, very calm, and it's actually completely different. Is what it is. It's still open water, but it's a completely different look to what we get here. Not as many sandy beaches. There's actually a couple of really cool little spots where you get like little sandstone cliffs along there as well.
Yeah.
It's also the place where the Dell is, which is the old jetty that goes out into the water. Good spot. But St. Leonards, I must admit, underrated. It's got this fantastic old jetty that goes out there. We had a few people out there fishing and stuff. This was on my Bellarine tour the other day. and it was great. We had lots of subjects, but the main subjects we had were cormorants. The little buggers were everywhere. So this guy was sitting up in the channel marker, and that is the capital city of Victoria in the distance there. So
Now I have a question about that.
yes, please.
Is that back to front, that photo?
No.
Is that the way the city is from that angle?
Yes. Well, there you go.
I thought you might have flipped it horizontally.
No, there's actually a lot more city skyline off to the right as you look at this photo as well.
Yeah.
So I guess if you're looking at the city skyline, so the last buildings on the left, you're heading out more towards Williamstown and those sort of ways there.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's probably around where the Westgate Bridge is and that sort of stuff, and then off to the right, the city skyline. So,
and that's a channel mark.
It's really cool.
It's not a. I thought it might have been onshore, but it's an offshore mark.
Yeah, it's out in the bay. This is done with my Nikon 180 to 600 at 600. So yeah, that's a fair way out.
That's probably handheld.
Handheld. That channel marker there is probably about, I want to say 150 meters off the jetty, I suppose. So,
Okay.
But it was really cool because the cormorants were funny. They'd stand up on high up on one of the crosses there, and then they'd hop down into that little V, but they'd only hang there for a little bit of time, so you had to be nice and quick to get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, handheld. From memory, I was shooting here. I was actually doing a few shots, even though it was broad daylight. I was doing a few shots around 400 ISO, mainly to combat the fact that I had a 600mm lens on. And generally, as we may or may not know, is a pro tip for you. Shutter speed. Generally, if you can match it around the focal length, you'll be able to get a pretty clean shot. So to help me do that, I was shooting around 400 ISO, and I think it's around maybe 1/800th of a second this one, but I had the 600mm zoom on. So it was.
Could you not have got him facing the other way? Did you ask him to look at the city instead of?
I should have flipped it, shouldn't I? No, he's got his back turned to the city. This guy.
That's what I mean. Like if he's looking like he's disgusted with the current state of Melbourne, and he's like, he's looking to live somewhere else almost.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So yeah, it was good fun. St Leonards, underrated. I do plan now on spending a bit more time over there. Now, I mean, I've been there heaps of times, but this is the first time I've been there. With the specific aim to capture it. So
And how long does it take to get from one side of the Bellarine Peninsula to the other, from the Ocean Grove to St Leonards? How long would that be?
It's about 30 minutes.
Okay, so it's not just 5 minutes down. It's a bit of a track.
It's a bit further. Yeah, you can basically drive. If you just drove it without stopping, you could drive a whole lap of the Bellarine Peninsula in about an hour.
And that'd probably today's day would probably cost you about $1,000 in fuel.
We'll come back to that. Yes, that's right.
Yes, we bloody will.
Yeah, so that was cool. And it was pretty cool. So that's a good segue into. I
was going to say, how was your Bellarine Peninsula workshop?
It was really cool.
It's the official one, or is this the first official one, or have you done one before?
First official multi-day workshop I've run on the Bellarine. So I've done my my landscape and seascape one. Geez, I've been running that since I've had camera and photo, really.
Yeah.
So nearly 15 years. But that's always just like we do a session in the shop, and then we go out to a location, and it's just a one afternoon sort of thing, which is cool. And the great thing about that one is, depending on the conditions, I don't reveal whether a location is until we're actually in the workshop. Right. So if we've got good surf, we might go to Lonsdale. If it's a bit flat, but we're going to get a good sunset, we might go to the bridges at Bowen Heads.
If it's raining, you go to the Bowen Heads pub.
Oh, absolutely. We know. Yes, good spot that, the Bowen Heads pub. Or if it's something in between, we might just go straight south onto the stairs that go down and try and do some long exposure stuff there at sunset, which is great. But of course, I've always wanted to do a workshop where we can go to all those places.
Yeah.
Hence the 4-day Bellarine Peninsula tour was born. And that was my first one. I'd like to thank the guys that came along on that and basically were guinea pigs for me. I think
one of them looks like a guinea pig.
Come on now, you can't talk about Mel like that. That's not nice.
Oh, Mel. So I was mentioning Mel.
It was great to have #1 ticket holder Mel, which was very, very cool. But yeah, it was great. So the way I'm quite fortunate in that I've got my shop here, so I'm able to take people into the shop, give them a 2-hour theory. I don't like using that word because it sounds bloody boring, but we do
refresher.
Yeah, it's like a 2-hour crash course, boot camp on, this is how you find these things on your camera that we're going to need when we're in the field. And then I'll do a PowerPoint presentation, talk about composition, exposure settings, all that kind of stuff, talk about tripods, talk about the locations themselves, so people have got a bit of a heads up about what we're going to be trying to shoot. And then we all pile in the vehicle and off we go. So it was cool. And we did have all kinds of weather, which is not unusual for this part of the world. We had, we had 25 degrees and clear. We had pouring rain. We had everything in between. We had wind. We had the whole bit. So it was
just a sort of typical day in Melbourne, really.
Yeah, that's right. Typical Victorian day that you put up with. But it always yields great photos. I mean,
yes.
I remember saying to Mel when he got there, I said, "Oh, mate, I'd rather this than clear blue skies for 4 days."
Yeah.
And Cam, you've been down here when we were running those one-day workshops that we did together.
Yeah.
Those days where we got clear blue skies, it's like, oh, really? Come on, give us something.
30 degrees, sunny skies. It does make it hard. And I just actually did one of my little masterclass workshops on the weekend, and we had probably similar sort of weather to what you had. Really, it was a bit of rain, bit of cloud, and straight away you sort of know this is going to be moody and a bit better, but it's still tricky. You've got to sort of make the most out of it. But it beats any day of the week, beats blue skies and nothing going on. So
that's right.
Were you nervous about running your first 4-day workshop, or you're experienced enough to do this?
Not really.
You're an old dog these days.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. I've been doing workshops forever, but multi-day and on my own the first time. So that's what made it a little different. Only insofar as that, logistics. Like, right, I've got to pick this person up at this time. That and you don't have, like, when you and I do it, we can bounce off each other. Right, you've got that covered, I've got this covered.
Yes. Yeah.
But having said that, it was only 4 people, and I do sort of cap it at 4 people anyway. So that was totally fine. And I guess the thing that gave me great confidence was it was my own backyard, and I know every spot, and I know every spot if there's an issue. So, like, if the weather is bad or if we can't access a certain point, I've got contingencies in my head. Like, I just know straight away, all right, we're not going to go there, we'll go down here. And we had to do that. We had to actually flip day 1 and 2 around because of the weather. Like St. Leonards, for example, we're going to be there on Monday, but it was just steady rain all day, and that's no good for walking out on a jetty and getting photos. So we flipped it, and the next day the weather couldn't have been better for that. So that worked out fine. And I think the sunsets could have been a little better. We were gifted a cracker on the last night, so that was good. But again, it's good in some ways because it's easy. Anyone can teach. Anyone can point their camera at an amazing scene and get an amazing photo. It's when it's more challenging that you actually learn a lot more then. So that's what I enjoyed about it.
Yeah, I think, like, it's really important. That's why scouting and knowing your location is so important. And some of these cowboys that run workshops and just don't scout it and just rock up and go with the Instagram shots. Like, you've got to know that if the weather goes tits up, you've got to go somewhere else, or something's not going to be working, or even if there's like today we've got the Queen of Denmark here and they've shut down half of Hobart. You're running a workshop on a day like that, you're like, oh, I've got to go somewhere else, I can't go there. And that's what makes I think what cuts the better ones out from the less better ones is that if you know the region really well, you're almost guaranteed to put people in the right spot because you just know what works in what conditions. So
that's right.
So that's awesome. So have you got another one? You got more lined up, haven't you? Or
so the next one of those, I've got one in May, but that's full. The one after that will be in September. So
sold out is the word. It's
sorry, it's sold out. The intention with the 4-day ones is maybe only do 3 of those a year, if that, maybe 2. I don't really need to do that many of those. But what I am keen on is I've offered the same thing, but over a 2-day workshop as well. So for people that are a bit more sort of time poor, but still want to get a good taster for the Bellarine, I do a 2-dayer as well, which will, obviously include a sunrise, a sunset, and, half the locations, but the best of the locations. So
nice little teaser if they want to come back and do a longer one.
Yeah. And again, like I'm in a fortunate position where I'm not relying on them to sell or to work. I've got the shop that's keeping me busy enough, but it's a great way. And I've said this to you a few times. It's a great way for me to get out of retail for a little while because we all know retail has its moments. So it's good to get out, show off the backyard, teach some photography. And what I actually do at the end of, well, what I've done at the end of this trip was I've got all 4 who came on the trip, I've got them to send me their top 5 photos, their 5 favorite photos from the trip, do a little critique of them, help them out, maybe do some suggestions on editing and that sort of stuff. And then I also send them the PowerPoint presentation that I do as well. So it's a good follow-up, just so that they know that they can come to me if they've got any questions after the fact.
Yeah.
And it also forces certain people, and they'll know who I'm talking about, to actually get on and edit their photos now.
Yeah, don't wait
straight after the trip.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's I don't know if you're referring to anyone I know, but that's just how it works. Like, people go back off trips and then they go on the next one. It's like, oh, how'd you go with the last one? Oh, I didn't even edit those. I barely got around to it. So that's what the masterclasses I do here is really good, because the next day 1's out shooting, and then day 2 is we're in here in the studio and you have to edit and you have to print. And if you're not printing or editing, then you're just wasting your time being here. So it sort of forces their hand a bit. How much do you charge for these 4-day workshops for the people that probably want to book in later in the year?
Yeah, so for people who live locally, that's $2,000 for 4 days.
You give a local rate.
Sorry?
You give a local rate, locals.
Well, because only for the reason that they don't need accommodation.
Oh, that's true. They all stay in the backyard. No.
Yeah, that's right. So, or it's you'd think I'd know, $2,995 for the 4 days if you need accommodation as well.
So that's $2,000 or $3,000. That's pretty good.
$2,000 or $3,000. If you live locally, it's $2,000 if you'd known it. Or there is a third option, and that is you can just pay the local price and sort your own accommodation out. I'm totally cool with that. That doesn't work at all. So,
and rumor has it you've got a new Scooby-Doo that takes people around.
Yes. So finally got rid of the old van, and because I needed a car.
Cobwebs and all.
Sorry?
Cobwebs and all.
Oh, absolutely. I threw those in. Got rid of the van. And because I needed a car that I could still transport canvas prints around and stuff like that, I've decided to go for a Kia Carnival, which are really cool.
Lovely. They are very cool cars.
The seats all go completely flat for when I want to transport stuff. And then there's like luxury leather seats in there when you want to do a photo tour. It's the best of both worlds. So
and they're nice and roomy and
very roomy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, off topic, but I don't know if you remember seeing the Kia Carnival that we rented for the Tarkine last year. Yes. But when you lift the back seats up and there's this massive cavern at the back.
Yeah.
It's huge. Like we fit comfortably 5 camera bags, so I had mine as well, 5 backpack, 5 tripods, no worries at all. Like it was
a couple of dead bodies, no problems.
Yeah. An esky one night.
Yeah, that's right. There you go.
That was good.
And I heard a rumor that a new Glenn Lavender was born with the portrait sessions. Like, are you?
Well, and avid listeners and people who have been on these, a couple of these workshops, in particular the Mallee workshop, will know I love throwing in a portrait workshop while we're out there.
Don't you?
And of course, all I do is completely rip off Glenn Lavender and just whatever he taught me, I just teach this way. Yeah. And it works. In fact, while we had a little rain delay, this is George. This is one of the guys that was on the trip with us.
Yeah.
And we were just, this is, I don't know if you know it, Cam, but there's a jetty at Queenscliff that actually has like a shed halfway along it.
I've seen that. Yes.
Yeah, but you can walk right through. Well, this is inside that shed. Just it was drizzling a bit, and then it started to rain. And on the radar, it was only going to last 10 minutes. So I thought, all right, guys, come in here, and we lined up a little portrait session because the light was so cool. Like it was actually perfect light, not shearing shed light, not middle of the overland track, hut light, but
close. Well, when you get those big sort of moody days and rainy days, you got that big softbox of light. It's not harsh light; it's pretty soft light. So he looks like a happy chap.
He was incredibly enthusiastic, George. He had some incredible camera gear too, might I add. But he did really well. And the other thing was, as you're looking at this photo, off to the right, it's just this massive big door that's just open. There's no doors.
All right.
There's no doors on it. It's just a big, like an open doorway. Yeah. The light was just pouring through. And inside this shed, it's all painted, I want to say, really a dark, like maroon color.
Yeah.
So it really lent itself to getting that beautiful contrast that you get between light and dark.
Yeah.
and that is unedited, as Cameron likes to say, straight out of camera.
Straight out of camera. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, well, it was good fun.
Do you also share Glenn Lavender's bad jokes as well, or just his photo skills?
Oh, no, I've got my own. I don't need his bad jokes. So I've got.
So you got your own repertoire, haven't you?
Yeah, that's exactly right. But yeah, it was cool. And that sort of helps you pivot. Like you don't want to stop taking photos. So all right, well let's look at something else. So
and that's the thing. Like it's tricky when you do workshops. Like you said before, you had 3 days of mediocre sunsets, but then you got a cracker at the end. I get the guilt real quick. Like if we don't get a cracker every day I'm on a workshop, I'm like, damn it, these people are paying money and like we haven't put on a crack. But people understand that. People are really, really good like that. They're like, you don't control the weather. We just make what we make of what we get. So like you said, if you're walking along and there's a shed door open and a chance to do a portrait shot and it's raining outside, you'd be crazy not to get in there. And any new skill that you can bring into a workshop that might benefit someone, you bring it in.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And just a couple of other quick shots. This was on the first night. So it was funny because it was made mention of a couple of times, and that was the amazing places that we got to eat. Here on the Bellarine, we are absolutely spoilt for choice with amazing restaurants. Pub meals are incredible. We're really, really lucky here. And the first night after we did our theory, we popped across to the Barwon Heads Hotel, which is famous for its food. Like, it's incredible. Yeah. And had a quick early feed, so we could come out and wait for sunset here. So we are right under the bridges at Barwon Heads, and off to the right of the drifting sand dunes, and they get the grasses growing through. And in the distance there is At the Heads restaurant, which is also, well, some people might recognize it as Diver Dan's from the TV series Sea Change. And just showing guys, like, we did a lot of big zoom landscape in quotation marks, and just showing people how to use an anchor point at the bottom right hand, but have the background blurred out can still work quite effectively. So that was pretty cool. And then back at St. Leonards was this shot here. Now this is shot on my iPhone, and the reason I did that was because this was from the rain that we'd had the day before. It just left a massive puddle there. So this is my iPhone held upside down so that. Actually, I've got it here in my pocket so I can.
So it's almost touching the top of the puddle.
Yeah, that's right. So with iPhones, the lenses are up here. So I turned it upside down and then put it right on the bottom of the camera is actually on the ground.
You know what? That's the new iPhone. You could have put that submerged.
Yeah, I could have totally.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, so that worked really cool. That little thing there is called Sirens. It's I think it used to be like a bathhouse and change rooms, but now it's I think in summertime it runs as a kiosk. But it was really cool because it had the sun was out just in the top of the image, and it reflects really well in the puddle. So showing guys that, and also showing how you can use your phone to have a look at the shot, see how it's going to frame up. And I could have quite easily got my 7-14 out of my Olympus and pretty much got exactly the same shot, because that's done at the 0.5 setting on the iPhone, which from memory is about 14 mil, 12 mil, 14 mil, something like that.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, something like that. So, and it gives you that nice wide angle look. So you can, without having to get all your gear out of your bag, you can just get your phone, set it up. Oh, that looks cool. I'm going to get that on the big camera. So,
and everything looks good out of a phone.
Of course, naturally. Straight out of phone. SOP.
Yeah, SOP. Yeah, very good.
Good. So that was the Bellarine tour. It was good fun.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, nice.
We've got a workshop coming up, don't we?
Crazy. How quick has this come around?
Yeah, stupidly crazy.
They just roll through, man.
Oh, mate, the years, like we're almost at the end of March already. It's ridiculous. I can't keep up. I feel like I'm in a time warp.
Yeah, I'm pumped for this workshop, not least of all because it's been forever since I've been in that area.
Yes.
I'm really keen to get back into it and check it all out. Really keen with the group we've got as well. I mean, Shaz Bang, come on.
Well, Shaz Bang, she's pretty much the star of the show, isn't she?
We have royalty coming on this show.
Well, we have controversially equal #1 ticket holder, I reckon.
Yeah, that's right.
Mel's probably asleep on the couch by now, so it doesn't matter.
I don't think there's actually anything controversial about that.
No,
I think it's never a fact.
Yes. No, but yeah, we'll be hitting the east coast of Tassie, which, for those who don't know, is places like the Bay of Fire, St. Helens. We'll go down to Bicheno, Wineglass Bay, Fraser National Park, It covers a fair bit of lovely coastline. There's a few forests along the way as well, a couple of big waterfalls, but yeah, it should be good. And hopefully, I'm not sure what the weather's going to do, but it'd be nice to get a bit of a mixture there as well. Like, maybe some nice sunsets, but maybe some moody days to keep us going perhaps would be good, especially if we're going into the forest and things like that. So yeah, it should be good. We've got, 4 nights, 5 days? Does that sound right?
Yeah. Something like that.
Something like that. So
it's definitely 4 nights. There you go. Yeah,
definitely 4 nights. It could end up being 6 or 7 days the way we go.
That's right.
But yeah, so it should be good. And
looking forward
hopefully we get some cracking shots. The red lichen rocks and all that kind of stuff. I do like the look of that. I'm just looking at
the Bay of Fires, like it's world famous for those shots. But I got to say, I remember way back when, because I was actually on my honeymoon at the time when I first went into that area for the waterfalls and the cascades and things like that. In that they feel a bit unique in that area. I don't know.
They feel out of place a bit, don't they?
A little, yeah.
You know what it reminds me of a bit? It's a little bit Otway.
Yes.
Because you've got the coastline and then you just pop in half an hour inland and you're sort of into the forest and stuff like that. So just looking at the weather forecast, looks like it's going to be pretty good. We're going to get a bit of a mixture.
Good.
Doesn't look like there's going to be any real rain or anything like that, I don't think. So we could get some cracker. We might get some wind though.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be good for ripples on the sand dunes.
Maybe up to 50 kilometers an hour wind on one day.
Okay. That's the time we spend in the bar. That's fine.
We will go to the dunes. There is a dune section, Perrin Dunes, which is a very cool spot. Which, if there has been a bit of wind, that's really cool because it smooths all the footprints out from people. They're massive dunes, so you can always find a little bit of your own space. Yeah, so we're looking forward to that. And then after that, we haven't got. When's our next one after that? We got one.
Oh, we must have Great Ocean. Oh no, Kangaroo Island, which is sold out. Or is it sold out? Do you have one spot left? We may have a spot left for it, but we'll find out.
We'll promote that if we do. We probably should.
Correct. That's exactly.
I think we might have one left because we had someone pull out. Hang on, I might have it here. I don't know. I think we've got all of them.
What actually happened was we had 8, someone pulled out, and then we ended up with 9.
Yeah, that's right. We went backwards, didn't we? It was like, oh no, we lost someone. Well, we'll put it back. Oh, we got double as many people.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun as well. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be our first one at Kangaroo Island.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. I'm getting all the permits sorted out for that as well, as I mentioned.
Yes, excellent.
I actually just got fingers crossed, I got my permit for New Zealand all sorted out this week as well.
Fantastic. You're off to New Zealand soon, aren't you?
Yeah, next month. I think. I don't know. I tell you what, I'm going to have a rant, and this is unscripted, but I can tell you now, government departments can kiss my ass.
Right.
I spent 6 hours on the phone to the ATO the other day, off and on, trying to get my daughter Autumn, who's just got her first gig. She's going to be doing some tutoring at a student's extracurriculum learning center in town. There, she got her first. She's only 13, but she's like a little casual job, which is done through her school. But I had to get her tax file number, and I rang the tax file to ATO. We are in a lot of trouble if that's the best we can do for the Australian Tax Office. And I used to work in government. I worked 15 years in government, child support and Centrelink. It's got worse. And I just thought this can't be the best we've got. To almost 6 hours of phone calls to get a TFN number. Come on. And then I get an email from the New Zealand Department of Conservation about my permit. And that's taken almost a year to get that done because I've been given that many different wrong bits of advice when I've been ringing them, and I've been emailing them. And then I finally got someone, I think, who actually knows what they're doing when they work there. And he's come back and said, oh, we just need to tick this off and you're good to go. But I'm getting really jacked off with these government departments for all things that we do. Like things are not that hard. Like why is it so freaking hard just to have people on a phone in a call center that can actually I don't want to say do their job properly, but just do their job.
It almost feels like it's self-serving. Like they make this red tape so they can stay in a job.
Totally. And I'm going to add to my rant. Young Cheryl, who's coming with me on the Southwest Coast trip tomorrow, we just went out and caught up to have lunch today. And we're going to get onto the cost of living and all the things that it takes to cost to buy bloody fuel and shit like that. But we went down there. I'm on a rant now. I went down there. We QR'd our code to get lunch. So we didn't get served by anyone. The lady brings out the food and goes, cutlery's over there. Okay. And it cost me $55 for 2 people for lunch. And all they did was cook something, dump it on a plate, and we did the rest. Get stuffed. This is shit. We need to stop. We as the masses of this country, we need to say, bullshit. This is it. So my advice to people is start buying food at home. Don't go out for lunch. I know that doesn't support cafes and stuff like that, but if people are going to keep jacking up prices and jacking up the cost of services, and we're not getting the service we are paying for, I don't do it anymore. So I've had enough. Customers, after going to Japan, after going here and seeing how well customer service and things just work over there, you come back here and this is a shit show of a country when it comes to service. Government departments, cafes, petrol stations hiking up petrol prices. The only thing that doesn't get hiked up is our workshop costs.
That's right.
The price that we charge people. Yes. Anyway, I've had enough. Yes.
Written and authorised by C. Blake, Hobart, Tasmania, Australia.
I've just had enough. Like the last few days, I'm like, give me a break. And then, funnily enough, we drove down the road here and diesel, which is a byproduct of petrol, doesn't even cost as much to make the bloody stuff. It was $2.86 when we drove past. Had lunch, it was $2.90 on the way back. Come on.
So it's going up 4 cents an hour.
What the friggin' hell is going on? So that brings me on to my next bit of thing, is
I am actually interested in talking to you about this because it's tough. I mean, you
have to settle down a bit.
That's fine. Relax. I'll talk for a minute. You just breathe. The fact is that this is the backbone of your business, is running photography tours and workshops. And when the world gets a bit of a cold, which is what's going on at the moment.
Yes.
That happened 4 years ago. I shouldn't have. That's a shit reference. Forget I said that. But when stuff starts to happen in the world, and we're particularly in the Middle East at the moment, it affects us all in different ways. But particularly for someone who's trying to run tours, that can make things a bit tricky. Also, when the political background, shall we say, in the particular country you're trying to run a tour in, can be a little bit murky. And I'm assuming that's the party going down at the moment, Cam.
Well, this is the thing. So I do. Again, I'm lucky to be able to do what we do. I'm not saying that I'm not saying it's a stupidly hard job or stressful job, but it is stressing. So we do Utah each year. We obviously do Scotland. We do New Zealand, and now we've done Japan. And yes, as soon as something goes on around the world, like someone sneezes or some Oompa Loompa presses a button, all hell breaks loose. And you start getting emails from people asking questions about upcoming tours and, are we doing this? Are we doing that? And it does make it really tricky. So we've got the Utah trip going later this year. We're sort of half full. We'd like to be able to get a few more people in there. But without a doubt, the current climate or global climate is stopping people in their tracks from really doing anything apart from just sort of staying put. And when you stay put, you're getting absolutely bled out the bumhole for petrol prices and food prices and everything like that. You're getting absolutely screwed either way. So what we're doing, we're going to run a bit of a free webinar next, I think it's next Tuesday, the 25th of March, which will be actually next Wednesday, sorry, at 7:30. Just a bit of a free session on Utah and just have a chat about what we do when we go there. It's a trying to attract a few more people if anyone's interested to come along. Like, we'll still be going regardless. I think we've got the numbers to do that. But it just to sort of iron out a few myths as well. Like, I think the news doesn't help businesses like mine. Like, I even saw a story today from one of the newspapers, The Guardian or the ABC, saying Australians warned not to travel for the next 6 months. It's like, well, that's great, but
that doesn't help.
That doesn't help. And why? Like, well, we had people ring us about Scotland. Like, is Scotland going ahead, the tour? I'm like, yes, it's going ahead. You don't have to go through Dubai or Qatar to get to England or to UK. You can go through KL or you can go through Singapore or whatever. But all these fears that are getting put out there, and some of them are legit, obviously, but some of them are just out of whack as well. So like I said, we're doing a bit of a webinar, a free webinar next Wednesday, the 25th, 7:30 p.m. If you're interested, drop us a comment or send us an email to the show here, and I can send you the link. But it's pretty much just to dispel some myths about going to America. Like, America obviously has an interesting political situation at the moment with the person that's in charge, but we've been there 3 or 4 years in a row now, and we have had zero issues getting into the place. We have had absolutely zero issues with the people that live there. I actually find, if not all Americans I've met over there, to be absolutely wonderful people. They're super, super friendly. They love giving you great service. They love Australians. The locations we go, all around Utah are just breathtaking. Every single one of them, as you know, you've seen them all. But I think, it's a tricky one, because not only do we have the cost of living going up where everything's costing more to run workshops, but then you've also got this added, well, should I be traveling at the moment? Should I go anywhere at the moment? What happens if A, B, or C? And we're fielding a lot of questions, more so around the political, geographical sort of thing that's going on, as opposed to what the workshop actually is about. And we sort of knew that might happen if we start traveling overseas. Obviously, things change, and countries have issues, and airlines have issues and stuff like that. But it's a real tricky one. So it's got me thinking now, do you start not worrying about doing overseas trips for the next 3 years and just can them and just stick to local, where if you stick to local, you're paying $3 a litre in petrol, your accommodation costs are going up every year, your food costs are going up every year. And it's really hard not to start sort of passing some of that on to the price of the workshop, because the more, everyone's struggling, the more we put the workshop price up, the less customers we get. So, it's a real funny balance, and not unexpected, but it's just throwing a few more curveballs that you've sort of got to negate. And the tricky one for me is, like, I like to think I'm a pretty honest person, and people have sort of asked me about going to America, and I've heard Australians get strip searched on the way through, and I've heard that if you mention the word Trump on your social media, they'll kick you out, all that kind of stuff. And it's really hard to turn around to someone who's got that view in their mind and say, you know what, that's a bit of BS. We've had no issues at all, without it sounding like a sales pitch at the same time. Like, I'm trying to be honest to people, say, you know what, we've had no issues at all. And maybe the reporting on that issue is maybe a bit out there, without trying to sound like what, I need you to come on my trip, so I'm just going to tell you whatever I need to do to get you on the trip, which is not what we're doing. So it's a tricky one.
Can I help?
Please, can you be my PR manager? Thanks.
There you go. That's all we need. There you go. That's PR done.
Oh yeah.
So even I can take good photos on one of Cam's workshops in Utah.
But you got strip searched six times before you went there.
Yeah, never happened, did it? I mean, and you're quite right in what you say. I mean, they love Aussies over there. Everywhere. I was with you on your 2024 Utah trip, and I loved it. I felt so accepted and happy, and people, and everyone's so talk about customer service. That's one thing that you do get in the US.
Yeah.
But as far as photography is concerned, it's so cool. It's completely different to anywhere in Australia. There's no question about that. I loved it. I had an absolute blast over there. So if you're contemplating jumping on one of Cam's Utah trips, then please do, because you won't regret it.
This is the other one as well. So 2027 is practically sold out.
Right.
So it's almost like people are like, I might just give it this year a year off and just see what happens next year. So next year we've got one spot left, and that's the last time we're doing Utah before we head off to some other location. So if anyone's thinking of doing Utah, you probably need to look at doing it this year. And like I said, do your own due diligence about traveling, and make sure you get travel insurance and all that kind of stuff. But I can assure you that going to America on the 3 or 4 times that we've been there has been nothing but, they let you, me, and Daniel in at the same time. Come on. You know what I mean? If they're letting us 3 in who look like we do, they're going to let any one of our customers in without any issues. So
it was, I must say, when we were coming in through LA, it was quite funny. And funny. The guy just looked up and saw us 3 and went, all of you over here.
Yes, straight over here.
Here's trouble.
He goes, come. And remember he said to us, he goes, now have you all filled out your visa thing?
Yeah.
And we all said, yeah. And he goes, because if one of you get it wrong, you're all back on a plane. And we all looked at each other and I went, have you done yours properly? And you went, have you done yours properly? And we're like, all right, we're in together. Let's go. All chips on the board, and away we go. Last time when I got there, sorry, I walked in and we had one of my customers, Sharon, Cheryl, and I were all sort of going through at the same time, and we decided to go through separately this time. I thought, let's just make sure, if something does happen, if one of us gets stopped, then not everyone gets stopped, type of thing. And the guy looked at me and he goes, "So what are you here for?" I said, "Oh, we're here to do a bit of a trip around Utah, visit some national parks. We're staying in Vegas for a few days." And he looked me up and down. He goes, "You sure you're not here to do any acting?" I went, "What?" I said, "No, what do you mean acting?" He goes, "You're not here to do any auditions or anything like that?" I said, "That's the last thing I'm ever going to do in my life is go audition to be an actor." And he sort of laughed. He goes, "All right, off you go." So, yeah, that's a funny one.
Maybe this time when you go through, wear the glasses. You got a bit of the Clark Kent's about you. You might end up getting a role in Superman.
If Superman's short, fat, and over and old, there's a new series coming out. Maybe.
Can I guarantee you at least 2 sales for Utah?
Oh, here we go. Is it
There we go.
I haven't pre-authorized this.
Look at that.
Oh, that's cool. Yes.
Yeah.
How cool are those things?
That's a chipmunk, is it not?
That is a chipmunk. And how fast are they?
Yeah, these things were just everywhere when we were doing Sunrise in Zion, and
it's almost behind where you took the last photo, I think.
Almost exactly. Yeah. It's like the next 2 frames down, and it was really cool because here we are looking at this stunning sunrise, like over this beautiful valley in Zion, and then it was like these guys stole the show. Everyone was trying to get photos of these instead, which we could have done anywhere, but it happened to be right there.
Yeah, so that's 1 ticket sold. Thank you.
2.
Oh, 2. You got 2 of them. Okay. Yeah.
You can
so anyway, take it as it is. This is not. I don't like doing hard sells, and this tour is in no major trouble of never going ahead. We've got half the tour full at the moment. We'd love to have a full trip if we could. Another 1 or 2 people would be even better. So it's not a hard sell, and same with like Scotland and Japan and things like that. Like what we're finding at the moment, and I've spoken to other people that are traveling who do the same thing I do. And they're all of the same boat. Like, really, we've had no issues anywhere we've gone. Like, okay, what's going on in the Middle East at the moment is obviously a concern to everyone because it's affecting us all one way or the other. But if you're going into Europe, then, you don't have to go through the Middle East to get there. So, anyway, if you want to join us next Wednesday night, the 25th at 7:30, it's on a Zoom call, but send me an email, contact@dsps.com.au, and I'll send you the link. Even if you're not contemplating, if you just want to come and see some nice pictures of Utah, jump on. It'll be an hour and a bit of chatting, and I promise not to hard sell anything down your throat. So
excellent. Now, look, while we're on a roll here, and you've spoken a lot about workshops and things.
Yes.
Tasmanian Photography Festival.
Ooh, you didn't say that out loud, did you?
It's on the run sheet.
Oh, is it? Yes. So
is this the ultimate teaser, and you're just putting the feelers out, or is this actually something you're seriously considering bringing back?
This came up the other day in a conversation. I won't say who with, and there was a little glimmer of maybe we should do this, because we did it back in 2020. We had it all set up. We didn't run it by Matt and Nick as much as they probably wanted us to, so that was a funny one. So it was called TFOP, the Tasmanian Festival of Photography, complete rip-off of BFOP, but in Tasmania. And because BFOP is such an amazing event in such an amazing place, my first thought was, well, we could do one down here in Tassie. And, for people that don't get tickets to BFOP and people who want to come to Tassie, this might be a great weekend to do so. So we got talking and just going through what logistics would be involved to get it done. And a lot of it's already set up in the background, because in 2020, we had all the tickets sold. We had pretty much everything ready to go. And then COVID kicked us in the bum and we had to pull the plug on it all. And it's never come back since. But what got me thinking the other day is that because BFOP is such an awesome event that gets sold out in 2 seconds, there's got to be an overflow of people that have missed out on tickets who would think, geez, I just love to go to something like this. Well, this is where I thought maybe having this in the middle of the year where it is in between BFOP could be a winner. People would still come to this, and it probably wouldn't be at the same scale as BFOP to start with. It'd be probably a smaller version of it, but similar makeup. You'd have presenters and workshops and places like Cradle Mountain, Sheffield. We could go to the Barrington Lakes and all those kind of things. would be really great locations. You could have all different genres. You know, your good self could come. I know Glenn Lavender would be there. I remember speaking to Julie from Nikon. She was keen to come down with Nikon and the gear and things like that. So watch this space. I don't know if or when, but if people are listening and watching think that having a photography festival in Tasmania would be a good idea, maybe just chuck something in the comments below. Maybe just stroke my ego a little bit and just see if, and I've got people that are happy to jump on and help with logistics. So we've got a bit of a team, not an official team, but we've got I guess, what would you call a little committee going on that people are like, you know what, I'm in. If you want to do it, let's do it. So would you come down to Tassie for a photography festival?
If I was invited to run a workshop at a Tasmanian festival of photography, I think I'd struggle to say no.
Yeah, I think so. Well, last time we had sponsorship from the Spirit of Tassie. Like, they were doing deals for people to come down. Like, you know, you make it a holiday, come down for a week, and it's a no-brainer.
It is an absolute no-brainer. You're completely right. And I think, you know, having what you just said was, you know, Bright is so damn popular. And unfortunately, Bright is capped. Like, they can't have, if they could have 10,000 people there, they probably would get 10,000 people there.
Yeah.
They can't. They're limited by what they can do. So there is definitely an appetite for this sort of stuff elsewhere, which is why I'd like to introduce you to OGFOP, the Ocean Grove Restaurant.
Well played. Yeah, that's brilliant. OGFOP. Well, what about FOGOB?
Yeah, well, you know, but no, look, in all seriousness, I think it needs exploring. I have no idea how it would go, to be frank, but I can't see it not working in some kind of capacity. Like you said, even if it was open to, you know, 100 people to begin with, or whatever.
Yeah,
that's
what I'm thinking. It could be a smaller version. I think it'd be ill of me to try and jump in and just try and fill out 300 or 400 tickets. I think that'd be a bit silly. I am going to reach out to Matt and Nick this time and have a chat to them. Probably have a chat to them maybe in the next few months and just say, look, you know, how do you feel about me doing this? Any advice? I know what the advice will be. Don't. You're an idiot. You'll go crazy. And then maybe we'll just run a few figures through and, you know, see how hard it is to put on. And yeah, like I said, I think it'd be a no-brainer. I think people would come down here. Even locals, like, you know, there's nothing down here. Like, we have festivals for everything here in Tassie. We have a Steam Fest, we have a Medieval Fest, we have Whiskey Fest, we have Food Fest, we have Beer Fests, we have Winter Fests, we have a Cradle Mountain video festival, but there's nothing to do with photography, and photography is big. So watch this space. It may never happen, or it may get legs, but let me know in the comments how you're feeling about it.
Okay. Sounds good. And your segue work on this podcast,
pretty good, isn't it?
It's been second to none, because you do want to have a quick chat about BFOP.
I do.
By the way, I got the official email during the week from Crummins to ask me to come back and run workshops at BFOP again. Almost certainly the Brendan and Charlie's big bus trip will happen again.
Hey, did you see Charlie? Did you see Charlie's?
How good was it?
The interview of himself. It was very, very clever.
I loved it. I thought that was brilliant. Shout out to Charlie Brown as well. I mean, here's a guy that lives in the high country, knows that place like the back of his hand. Yeah. He's doing a weekend workshop for $1,000.
Yes, yeah, he's ripping everyone off, or ripping us off. He's making us look bad. Is what he's doing.
Well, it's pretty amazing. Like that. That's about. I mean, it's only like 3 days, 2.5, really.
It's only the high country of. Hey, you know what? I saw Mount Buffalo the other day. Yeah. On my way back from Yarrawonga when I was playing golf. When you come back on near Benalla, I'm like, hey, that's Mount Buffalo over there. So it was a lovely view to see. I like Mount Buffalo. But you're right, good segue, because for the last few years, every time I've been at BFOP, Matt Crummins and Nick are like, you know, when you're at BFOP, for you photographers, this is your chance to shine. You know, you should be doing stuff either side of BFOP, maybe put a workshop or, you know, a boot camp or something like that Matt does and others do. So I thought that's a good idea. So I've got a little bit of time before this year's BFOP. So what I thought I'd do is put out like a little bit of I'm calling like a pre-game warm-up, like stretch your trigger fingers and like a mini sessions beforehand. I'm going to get up there on the Tuesday morning. So I'm going to have a few days up there. I'm going to do a Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon. So 6 sessions. They're only 3-hour sessions. They're $95 each. it's pretty much just come along. Let's get your cameras all set up. Let's blow the dust out. Let's make sure you understand what your settings are doing. By then, people will know what workshops they're doing for BFOP as well. So, just give them a little bit of insight before you go and do Glenn's workshop. Don't forget your earplugs for the jokes, and don't forget the Vaseline for the lenses to make everything look dreamy and all that kind of stuff. But have a bit of a chat beforehand, and then go out and do a bit of a street walk. And like I said, just blow the cobwebs out. So far they've been on sale for a little while. They're going okay. The Thursday afternoon one's practically sold out. The Tuesday morning one's getting some good numbers as well, which is good in a way, but it means I've got to be there Tuesday morning. And
people are getting very excited about BFOP if they're there on the Tuesday.
Well, yeah, some people,
which means they're there on the Monday.
Well, that's right. So some people like to make a bit of a week of it. So we'll see how we go. But they're available on my website.
Have you got one booked? Have you got one set up for the Wednesday afternoon?
I do.
And what time does that finish?
It goes from 2:30 to 5:30.
Oh, perfect. You can meet me at the brewery for a beer then.
Are we still doing our BFOP pre? Is Mel doing that this year? The Down South Photo Show fan.
He did mention that something will be probably happening for that, which will be on the Thursday night.
Yes, which you'll be up the mountain though, won't you? For that, won't you? Or,
I don't get back off the mountain until about 9 o'clock. So, but last year when I rocked in, there was still plenty of people around, and it was fine. I had a beer or two afterwards.
Well, I'll be drunk by the time you get back, I reckon.
Perfect.
Just what you want, a drunk Cam.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you're interested, check out the website, my website. Like I said, there's plenty of spots, and they may or may not fill. I just thought I'd put it out there, and if people are going to get up there prepared and they want to spend 3 hours, $95 isn't much to come chew my ear off for a few hours and get a few things right before you go out with the real experts. So.
No, I think it's a great idea, and I think it's a good way to go, because you will have people in Bright for the week. A lot of people do. They take caravans and they go and stay there for the week. Beforehand, they'll go for a drive up Hotham or Buffalo or whatever. But why not spend a few hours with that guy and get up to speed for BFOP? It's a great idea for sure. Cam, look, we've got to that point where we did tease earlier that we might have a new photo comp. We're happy to do this, and this will run. So where are we now? We're at the middle. Let's say it's going to run until the 19th of April. So it's 1 month that you'll have to be able to submit your.
I'm writing that in our notes.
Now, the way that you enter our photo comps, our world famous photo comps, it's got to be my turn to give a prize, because we're now doing these like probably monthly, or maybe every second month we might even do one of these. I'm happy to stump up a $150 gift voucher for Ocean Grove Camera and Photo as a prize for this comp this month. So $150 gift voucher on offer from Ocean Grove Camera and Photo. You can use that online to print your photos through my website, where we have Australia-wide delivery available, which will soon be $1,000 a photo. But anyway, we'll see how that goes. Or you can use it in store. You can come in and see me. Come make the trip. Come down to Ocean. You could use it for a workshop. Maybe,
hey,
if you wanted to.
Question: does that mean, like with all the petrol prices, does that mean courier prices are going up as well?
100%. I've been speaking with a friend of mine who runs a bakery up in Noosa, and he was saying that he has received warning emails about deliveries and how tricky it might become in the next couple of weeks. So watch this space. I know, right? Anyway, look, we've gone back to that horrible topic. Let's be positive.
Yes, okay.
The photo comp theme, which starts now and will be pinned to our Facebook page.
As we speak.
I was going to say that's how you enter. You go to our Facebook page, the Down South Photo Show, search us on Facebook. It'll be the pinned comment at the top of our page. It'll be this month's photo comp, and the theme is wide. WIDE, wide.
Like your forehead?
Look at that thing. Look at that. You can bounce lasers off that. Look at it.
They did, didn't they? No.
That is a beautiful. That's not a forehead, Cameron. That's a 5-head.
That's a dad joke. You have been hanging out with Glenn. So entry is closed 19th of April. The image, post your image in here for something wide. Right.
Now the theme, we love it when people get outside the square with our comps. So wide, it's open to interpretation. Wide.
Yes. So I'm going to put a photo. I'm just going to put in something I think's wide as a bit of a thing, but don't feel like that's what it is.
Right. Well, I'll just do a screenshot of my forehead. There you go, and that's now going up there. Perfect.
That'll be huge. That's exciting. So $150 voucher. That's awesome.
For Ocean Grove camera and photo.
Yes. So that's up there now. I'm going to pin that. How do I pin that?
It's been a while, hasn't it? We don't know what we're doing with that.
No, it's up there. It's up there now. So that's good. It's good to see us back with some more competition. So awesome.
Beer donations this week were from Jill D, Shaz Bang, Mel H, and Jenny Cooper. If you would like to buy us a beer, head to dsps.com.au. That is dsps.com.au. I am about to put a QR code in the corner.
When you say if you would like to buy us a beer, I think what you're probably better off saying is when you buy us a beer.
Right. That's right, true.
Yeah. Not. I wonder how much beer money we got.
I have no idea. We've never done an audit on it. Right up there, you can see above Cameron's head is a QR code. Hit that QR code. That'll take you to dsps.com.au. And you can go over there and, if you want to, buy us a beer, check out our workshops, have a look at some photos, check it all out. dsps.com.au.
Very good.
Right. Have we got any shout outs, Cameron?
I'd like to give a shout out to the 3 guys that came on my masterclass the other day, Tammy, Lily, and Catherine. We had a great day or two. We had great 2 days, but we had a few printer problems towards the end of the second day when we were printing out our work, and ended up having to say, I'll send the big ones out to you once I get it all working. So, which is what I was talking about you through the week. But shout out to them. Great patience. Really lovely people. Lily was a bit of an avid fan of the show. Now, get this. Lily's only like 23. She'd have to be up there with one of our youngest viewers. Yeah. And she actually thought we were okay, which I thought we were well outside that hip and happening.
That is not our demographic, Cameron.
That is not. That's your daughter's age almost. Well, give or take. But so we must be doing something right. So yeah, if you're young, hip and happening, spread the word. What's the word the kids use these days? I don't know. 6, 7. I don't know. But yeah, I want to shout out to them. They were really good.
No, we've got, we've got Cam. We've got Riz.
Riz.
Apparently, Riz.
What's Riz?
I don't know. My son uses it. That teacher's cool. They've got Riz.
Oh, all right.
No, I think it's short for charisma, but
that's shit.
No. Shout out to all the Bellarine eateries that I kept in business last week. Thank you. That was awesome.
The thing. Here's a note for those eateries that we keep sending customers to. Stop charging a stupid amount of money for us serving ourselves.
No, wouldn't get that on the Bellarine Peninsula, mate. Not down here. None of that went on.
You know, Marley's in Strawn, where we used to. Not Strawn, where Stanley, where we get our lovely meals. Yes. They've closed down for a year to go travelling around Australia.
What?
Like, yeah, they've just shut up shop and gone, we're going travelling. Not that it was around Australia, but they're going away for about a year. Coming back with some new ideas.
Asking us if they could do that?
I know. I don't know, mate. This is what the world is coming to. What do you do?
Hey, Cam, enjoy your Southwest workshop. Hopefully that gets off the ground today as this goes to air.
I haven't heard anything yet, but I think it would be good. But yes.
And looking forward to catching up with you in Tasmania next week. And I'm going to have a nice week in the shop. And then, get on a plane, come down and do the east coast of Tasmania. That's going to be mint. Yes,
I am determined to take more photos on this one. As we were talking about earlier, I just haven't taken many photos on these workshops lately. So I'm just going to leave you with the group and go do what other photographers do and just walk off and leave you there.
That works too. I can take photos and show people how I do it, and then that's it. It'll be great.
Just bring an esky.
That's all I do. This has been episode 170. No, this has been episode 187 of the Down South Photo Show. We look forward to seeing you sometime in the future for episode 188. Say goodbye, Cameron.
Goodbye, Cameron.
Bye now.
Bye.